Brain dumping, basically what it is getting all of your ideas out on paper. And as I said, I when I brain dump, I love to use sticky notes, and I just like to, I use different sticky notes. That way I can put one thought on each sticky note, and then I post them, and then organize them according to different topics, different subject areas, or different projects that I'm working on. So that's basically what brain dumping is: getting all your ideas out of your head, putting it on paper, and then from there categorizing them, putting them in different categories: health goals, family goals, different projects you're working on, physical goals, self-improvement goals. Put them there, and then once you have them in those different categories, now the key to decluttering and prioritizing is in now deciding the urgency of each one. Okay, how to determine how urgent that goal is so that you could prioritize it. And there is a strategy that I use that I want to share with you, which is called the Eisenhower Matrix. Okay. Eisenhower Matrix, it was developed by Dwight Eisenhower. With the Eisenhower technique, what you want to do is create four quadrants. Get you a piece of paper. You could create four quadrants. You could also use tape it on the wall, and you could use your sticky notes to put your goals on, and then move them around in the different quadrants. So the first quadrant, okay, the first quadrant is you're going to put things that are urgent and important in that quadrant. And we'll talk a little bit about what that means, okay? Then in your second quadrant, you want to put things that are not urgent, but they're important. Then in your next quadrant, put things that are urgent, but they're not important. And then in your fourth quadrant, you want to put things that are not important and not urgent. Okay. Once you have your four quadrant, then you're going to take your goals and put them in the different category. So what are things that are urgent and important? Those are the things, first of all, that you want to do first. But then those are also professional goals. Actually, let me give you a couple of examples. There are your deadlines. There are things like crisis that may come up. They are things like essential tasks, like preparing for a presentation that's due the next day. Okay, so those are things with time sensitive deadlines on them. So those types of things, let me give you an example. Professional goal would be like completing a high stake project that is due by the end of the week. And so it's for a client that you want to be real happy about it. That is something that you want to do first. Then in your next, so you look at your goals, what are things that have deadlines on it? What are things that I need to do first? In your next quadrant, there are things that you can plan for later. What are those things? Those things would be strategic planning. They could be things like relationship building, learning a new skill, health goals. Those are all things that they're important. They're not urgent, but they're important to you. And so another professional example will be like earning a certification in your field, and you have a goal of getting that done in 6 months. So, in 6 months' time, you'll be getting that done. Okay. So it is important to you, but it's not urgent. Then the things that are not important, but they're urgent to you, are the things that you can delegate, okay? Or you can limit them. So some examples would be like interruptions, like emails. I need to check my email. I need to do I have a meeting coming up, but it really doesn't have that much added value. And so therefore it is urgent that yes, I need to get it done, but it's not important. Is it something that you can delegate to someone? So in the professional arena, such as signing up for a work-related event, right, that doesn't align with your career path, but you just want more knowledge, or you're doing it just because other colleagues are doing it, then it is maybe not important to you, but there's a deadline that you need to get it done by. Okay. And then the fourth one is things where it is not urgent and not important. And are those things that could be eliminated or minimized? Our favorite one, some examples are, You end up watching social media, scrolling, watching TV, doing things that are non-essential. They're not important. They're not urgent. And so those type of things, you may want to eliminate them. An example will just be like maybe exploring an idea for a side business that you really don't really have an interest in, but you just like, I'd like to know a little bit more about this later on. That may be something that you want to that may not be urgent for you or not important as well. So those are the four categories that you want to be able to put your goals into. So your top priority are the things that are urgent and they're important. Then your long-term goals, you want to put them in category number 2. Then the low priority goals in category number 3 because they're really not important, but they may be urgent, but it doesn't have a great value added to it. And then your distractions, okay? Your distractions. And so once you have prioritized your goals, focus on number 1 and 2 quadrant, your top priority and your long-term goals. Focus on them as making them goals that you want to work on, because that will help you accomplish more, stay focused, and in a short amount of time. Once you focus on those 4 areas, on giving priority to the top 2 areas, seeing if you can delegate to the quadrant number 4 and avoid delegate quadrant number 3 and avoid quadrant number 4, dismissing it or eliminating it, then you can focus on the goals that's important. And once you have those goals that's important, then you want to be able to just write them down into SMART goals, okay, or smartest goals. Then once you develop your SMART goals, then you develop the action plans to it. So that's what I want to share with you, is using the Eisenhower method to declutter, to prioritize, and to refocus, and to create a strategic action plan. So that is what I have for you.